All right, so I got about 8 minutes before my phone stops recording because I'm gonna run out of space. But I keep watching all the content on YouTube, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop watching. I'm gonna tell you guys what's going on, because the more I keep listening to what the real, what quote unquote knowledgeable people on crypto are talking about, nobody's really giving you a clear message. So I'm gonna break it down in 8 minutes. There's 4 type of tokens, not 2. There's 4. You have liquidity tokens, you have utility tokens, you have governance tokens, and you have smart contract platforms. You need to understand these 4. All right, the more that you understand these, the better off you'll be. Certain tokens like ICP give you governance over certain networks. Flare will let you have governance over that network. People are not talking about these 2 important networks, Flare and ICP. Internet Computer Protocol is basically going to be the new internet blockchain. Now, what the fuck is a blockchain? Because everybody keeps talking about it and they don't really give you a clear explanation. I'm going to put it like this. It's a notebook, all right? It's just a notebook. If you were to take notes on a notebook, or if you were to track transactions on a notebook, they would be on a specific notebook. Well, that's how it works. Now, how do transactions get on the notebook? Well, you need to be doing transactions utilizing a currency that is coded to transact or to record the transactions on a specific blockchain. This means if you're using the Bitcoin token to exchange or do transactions, inherently, you're gonna go ahead and record these transactions on the Bitcoin network. This is a notebook. This notebook, or this ledger or blockchain, this notebook is going to show all the transactions. Now, the problem here is that, yes, permissionless means that you don't need permission to see it. This means it's open, it's public, you know, and then permission means that you need permission to see the transactions. Meaning, if you don't want anybody to see what you're doing, you probably want to operate in something that's not permissionless, something that has a little bit of privacy. This is why, of course, XDC is by far one of the best blockchains there is. That's why I'm building my entire business, my empire, off of XDC. And I'm willing to go ahead and do whatever it takes to make this a reality, because I need you guys to understand that XDC is gonna be the Ethereum killer. Yes, it is exactly that. But what we're gonna go ahead and talk about next is not the smart contract platforms. But by the way, ADA and XDC and a lot of these new technologies are being built with quantum security, because guess what? Quantum security is the future. We need to make sure that nobody is able to see your transactions or access your data, especially like medical records. But then we go on to utility tokens, right? Like Filecoin, that's important. Or like basic attention token, where if you use the browser, you get tokens. Or if you go ahead and use your laptop to leverage extra space so that you can provide space for the network, for them to have more storage space, well, that's a utility token. You know, that's going to give you a lot of utility in that network. And that really helps out, because now we are able to decentralize these things. But what does it mean to be decentralized when all of these things are being built because the central governments allowed it? So really, the only thing that could really be decentralized is what someone like John McAfee built. You know, he was the wisest man so far in crypto, from what I understand, because he was able to really understand it for the people, for the power that it holds for the people, versus trying to monetize what it could be in order to make it one of the new world technologies, so that way they can control the people. You gotta be very mindful of what is going on, because at the end of the day, we are living through the transition of what is the workforce. As we transition out of the 9 to 5 and we go more into actions get you paid, because digital asset economy is gonna force people to participate into networks. Once again, there's liquidity tokens. That's XRP and XLM. The important thing that you need to understand about these two is that they are both recording transactions on the same notebook. Once again, one notebook, 2 tokens so far. The idea here is that the XRP toolkit and the XRP ledger are able to be leveraged to create other tokens as well. That's why the central bank digital currencies are going to be built leveraging these technologies. But not just that, because some central banks are also going to be using Algorand. This means that this is another ISO 20022 certified tokens. These tokens are what is the future, because in order to replace Swift, you need to replace Swift because Swift is only sending messages. It's not sending value. In order to send value, meaning wealth, meaning digital assets, meaning the settlement must happen on both ends of the notebook, on mine and the other person simultaneously. In order to get both transactions written simultaneously, there must be a quick, speedy settlement, and that's actually what the XRP token was created for exact that same reason. So when people tell me why XRP and not XLM, well, XRP is the ISO certified token. XLM is not. Jed Caleb, I believe he started his foundation so that way that's the token that's going to be used to send as UBI. I don't know how exactly yet, and I'm not going to go into it, but the idea here is this, guys. You have a few tokens here to keep in mind: IOTA, Algo, XDC, Flare, XRP. What else are we talking about? ICP. You got to make sure you look into these things, because these tokens right here are going to liberate you. All right. Next thing, once you got these ISO tokens down in your bags, you want to look for those participating tokens like Quant. Quant is going to change your life. Quant is the overledger. And for those of you that don't know what an overledger is, well, right now is not the time for me to explain it, but most transactions, I mean all transactions, it's like the super highway. And so you need to make sure that in everything that you do, you go ahead and go through the pain of researching how to access these tokens, because if you don't get these tokens, you're going to regret it. It's going to be hard for you to access them in a few years, let alone in a few months. But if regulation occurs, good luck, my friends. I wish to see you on the other side. Take care.